Come through the sky, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Zay, collectively known as SoCal Uncensored or
SCU. This is Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the worst podcast I've ever been on. Word.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the best podcast you never heard of. My name's Tom. I am your host. I want to thank everybody for watching, listening, and subscribing on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Make sure you're following on social media on all platforms. You can find the show at Catch, Hook, Shoot. Make sure to check out our website, catchhookshoot.com. You can find all the podcasts, all the videos, the CHS shop where you can get all your merchandise, t-shirts, hats, all that kind of fun stuff. Head to prowrestlingtees.com/catchhookshoot for more t-shirts that are not on the website. And you can find all that and a whole lot more on our Linktree, which is linktree/catchhookshoot, or scan a little QR code right here in the corner, and you'll find links to pretty much everything having to do with the show. And if you ever want to shoot me an email, it's catchhookshoot@gmail.com. So, a lot of stuff to talk about this week, so let's dive right in with our lead story. Alright, so if you can't guess already, the lead story this week, WWE releasing 18 superstars right after their third quarter investors call. I'm going to run down this list real quick. Some of these names very, very surprising. Ember Moon, Keith Lee, Karrion Kross, Mia Yim, Gran Metalik, Nia Jax, Lince Dorado, Jeet Rama, who just had his debut match on NXT this week, Katrina Cortez, Trey Baxter, also known as Blake Christian on the independent scene, Zeta Ramir, Jesse Kamea, B-Fab from Hit Row, who just got called up to Smackdown, Oni Lorcan, who's been with NXT forever, released, Frankie Monet, better known as Taya Valkyrie, barely has been on TV. It's insane to me. Eva Marie, which I don't think is a big surprise to a lot of people, and Scarlett Bordeaux, who hasn't been on TV since Karrion Kross got called up to Raw. I mean, I don't get it. Some of these names are shocking, honestly. Like, Nia Jax been around, in WWE for a long time. But Karrion Kross, like I said, just recently called up to Raw. But, the new gimmick that they gave him with the helmet and the kind of Centurion gladiator type thing, it wasn't working. There was nothing about Karrion Kross that needed to be fixed. But they constantly have to try to give somebody a gimmick or something like that. I mean, Kross and Scarlett in NXT worked. They didn't even give them a chance to carry over the same character to Raw. They got rid of Scarlett completely, which hurt Kross because she just enhanced his character. And they saddled him with this goofy gimmick, and that's my opinion. I'm sure there's some people out there that liked it, and that's fine. But, I don't get it. Keith Lee, just recently rechristened Bearcat Lee. I mean, I was okay with the nickname Bearcat. I thought it was all right. But again, didn't need to be fixed. Mia Yim, who didn't even get an opportunity as herself, on the main roster, because she was part of Retribution, and then once they split up, that was it. She was not seen again, and now she's gone. But yeah, Ember Moon, very surprising to me. I mean, she honestly, in my opinion, one of the best on the women's roster as far as in-ring goes. Very, very exciting to watch and everything. Trey Baxter, Blake Christian, he a fantastic in-ring performer. Now I'm sure he'll be back on the independents in high demand like he was before getting signed to WWE. So yeah, and I'll have a lot more to say about this a little bit later in the show, but yeah, so that is the lead story for this week. 18 releases by the WWE. I mean, it's insane the number of releases that we have seen from WWE just in 2021. Forget even going back to 2020 during the height of the pandemic. I mean, and the fact that they still have an overinflated roster is ridiculous. So yeah, 18 people released by WWE this week. So let's get into a little bit more upbeat news with our next segment, and that's the match of the week. The match of the week this week is just a classic Impact Knockouts match. Mickie James defending the Impact Knockouts World title against Madison Rayne. And I honestly don't think it's possible for these two women to have a bad match, especially against each other. You know, two of the building blocks, if you will, of the Knockouts division. And, this week was no exception. They put on a fantastic match on Impact. It was for the Knockouts title. Mickie James did retain. But like I say every week in this segment, if you haven't seen this match, if you're only going to watch one match this week, make it this one, because these are two of the best women's wrestlers on the planet right now. I mean, they're both, bona fide Hall of Famers, and yeah, they put on a fantastic match. I'm not sure what else there is to say about it. So yeah, match of the week this week: Mickie James versus Madison Rayne for the Impact Knockouts World title. So next up, I've got my top 3 highlights of the week, and that's called the 3 count. First up on the 3 count, CM Punk and Eddie Kingston. The segment that they had on Rampage this week was insane, to put it mildly. And, of course, it led to a match that's going to be coming up at Full Gear next week. I'll get into the whole rundown of that here in a little bit. But, yeah, just two of the best promos in the game, honestly, CM Punk and Kingston. You're not going to find too many better people on that microphone. And, they got very personal in their back and forth. And, of course, it, came down to a pull-apart brawl. And, yeah, definitely piqued my interest to see this match coming up next week. So I can't wait for that one. Number 2 on the 3 count, just a very, very brief segment from NXT. We had Tommaso Ciampa in the ring with Carmelo Hayes kind of going back and forth about which title's the more important one. And, the NXT title held by Ciampa, the North American title held by Carmelo. And but as Ciampa was leaving, Johnny Gargano made his way down to the ring because he and Dexter Lumis had a match. Yeah, we saw a little bit of a confrontation, acknowledgement, stare down, whatever you want to call it, between the former members of DIY, Gargano and Ciampa. So very, very interesting. I'm wondering if that's gonna lead to something, or if that's just kind of a little a one-off type thing. I'm hoping it'll lead to something, because Ciampa and Gargano, whether they are opponents or whether they are partners, the two best in NXT right now, bar none. Especially after all of the losses that NXT has suffered with all of these releases the last year or so. Gargano and Ciampa are the two best in NXT. Number 3 on the 3 count, the Bullet Club in Impact. Hikuleo, ELP, El Phantasmo, and Chris Bay just kind of decimating FinJuice and the Good Brothers. FinJuice and the Good Brothers were having a match, and the Bullet Club came down and just beat the crap out of all 4 of them, honestly. And this, of course, leads to a match next week between FinJuice and the Bullet Club, and the winner of that gets a tag team title match against the Good Brothers. So should be an interesting couple of weeks coming up for Impact. So let's get into some some of the goings on from around the world of pro wrestling this past week, starting off with some WWE stuff besides the releases. Saw a little bit of a confrontation between Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch on Raw. This was after Becky had successfully defended her title against Bianca Belair. And weren't any words exchanged or anything, just a little bit of a stare down. So it looks like Liv Morgan is going to be getting into the title picture, which I'm definitely in favor of. So hopefully, we're going to see a program between Liv and Becky. I would definitely be here for that one. And Big E had a match against Kevin Owens, and of course Seth Rollins, had to not necessarily get involved, but create some distraction and things like that. And it appeared at one point that Kevin Owens was kind of taking advantage of that. Big E still won the match. KO apologized, said he didn't see Rollins' involvement in the match. Big E didn't exactly believe him, though, and hit KO with the big ending. So a little bit of a heel move by Big E. I'm wondering if this could be the beginning of a heel turn for Big E. We'll have to wait and see. Now, of course, with Survivor Series coming up, we are going to be seeing Big E and Roman Reigns, and I'll touch on that a little more in a second here. But yeah, so I'm wondering, where, are we seeing a heel turn from Big E is basically the point of what I'm saying. But as I mentioned, Survivor Series, we already know we're going to see Big E versus Roman because it's always Raw versus SmackDown. On SmackDown this week, we saw the Bloodline just completely destroy the New Day. And this came after Xavier Woods got a victory over Jimmy Uso, and the stipulation was if Woods won the match, then Jimmy Uso had to bend the knee, as they say, meaning he had to kneel down and bow down to King Woods. And just as he was about to do that, Roman Reigns hit the ring, and they just, like I said, decimated the New Day. And Roman made a comment, wait till next week or something like that. So, yeah, this is definitely gonna be turned up, I would assume, next week on SmackDown. So, could we see Big E show up as some backup for his New Day brethren, and obviously start building towards that Survivor Series match between Big E and Roman? So we'll have to wait and see. And talking about the Survivor Series, WWE announced on their Twitter page today, or on Saturday, as I'm recording this, the men's and women's Survivor Series teams for the 5-on-5 matchups that are going to take place for on the men's side. For Raw, we're going to have Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, and Rey and Dominic Mysterio. So pretty good team for Raw, and they're going to be facing off from SmackDown with Drew McIntyre, Jeff Hardy, Xavier Woods, Sami Zayn, and Baron Corbin, or Happy Corbin, as it were. So, yeah, pretty good. Looks like a pretty good 5-on-5. There's definitely going to be some dissension on both sides there, within those teams. So that definitely should make it a little more interesting. And on the women's side for Raw, we've got Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Carmella, and Zelina Vega taking on from SmackDown Sasha Banks, Shayna Baszler, Shotzi, Natalya, and Aaliyah, the newest addition to the SmackDown Women's Division. Aaliyah just getting called up from NXT. So, again, some interesting matchups here. And, like I said, we're definitely going to see some dissension within those teams. Moving on to some AEW stuff. Got some unfortunate news this week. Jon Moxley has entered a rehab program for some issues I guess he's been having with alcohol and substances and that kind of thing. But good on him for recognizing that there was a problem and taking the steps to fix that problem. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody is willing to acknowledge that they have an issue, and even if they are, not everybody, and it shouldn't be this way, but a lot of people are ashamed or afraid to ask for help with this kind of thing. And it like I said, it shouldn't be that way. It's not a sign of weakness to ask for help. It's one of the scariest and bravest things that a person can do. So good on Jon Moxley. I hope he is successful and comes back, at 1,000%. And can't wait to see Mox back in an AEW ring. And he now, obviously, by going into rehab, he was taken out of the World Title Eliminator Tournament. He was replaced by Miro, who took on Orange Cassidy in the semifinals of that tournament, and Miro was victorious. So, Yeah, we've got, let's see, Miro advanced in the tournament, so he's going to be facing Bryan Danielson in the finals of that tournament at Full Gear. And Jamie Hayter and Red Velvet also advanced in the women's TBS championship tournament. And then we also saw the return of Jungle Boy and Christian Cage on AEW Dynamite, and along with Luchasaurus, they went on the attack against the Super Click. So that's definitely building to a match actually that was announced this week. Falls Count Anywhere, the Super Click versus Jurassic Express and Christian Cage going on at Full Gear. So let's run down the Full Gear card right now. Like I just talked about, Christian and Jurassic Express taking on the Super Click in a Falls Count Anywhere match. CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston, that is the early contender for match of the week. I cannot wait to see Punk and Kingston. Then we've got Darby Allin going against MJF. That's another strong contender for match of the week. Honestly, I can't wait to see that one either. This card is stacked. We've got the Lucha Brothers taking on FTR for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Now, FTR already defeated the Lucha Brothers for the AAA Tag Team titles, so now this time it's for the AEW titles. Then we've got a 10-man street fight. The Inner Circle taking on the Men of the Year and American Top Team. Now that is Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky, Junior Dos Santos, Andre Arlovsky, and Dan Lambert. So I'm pretty sure we're going to see Lambert get the crap beat out of him by the Inner Circle at some point during this match, because that's what everybody wants to see in this one. Then we've got Bryan Danielson taking on Miro in the finals of the World Title Eliminator Tournament. And we've also got Britt Baker defending the AEW World Women's Championship against Ty Conti. And for the AEW World Championship, Kenny Omega taking on Hangman Page. And I think it is finally Hangman's time. I'm picking Hangman Page to win this one. I picked him to be the first AEW World Champion, and it didn't happen. And he's had opportunities since then. And this has been a very long, slow build for Hangman Page. They have, taken their time with telling his story, and we've seen the ups and downs with Hangman Page. And I think it's time to pull the trigger to put the world title on Hangman Page. So we'll see if I'm right, but I'm picking Hangman Page to win this one. A little bit of Impact news: Mercedes Martinez will be the next challenger for Mickie James for the Impact Knockouts World Title coming up at Turning Point. We also found out Rosemary and Havoc are going to be challenging Inspiration for the Knockouts World Tag Team titles. That in a rematch, obviously. Some interesting news from MLW. We saw the return of Carly Perez. Now, if you're not familiar with that name, she was known as Katrina in Lucha Underground. She was a manager of Mil Muertes, who's now known as King Muertes in MLW, but she made her return alongside King Muertes in a casket match against Filthy Tom Lawler for the Caribbean Championship, which King Muertes did win, so he did retain that title. Some New Japan stuff. We got a bunch of new champions in New Japan. Sho, Takagi, and Evil defeated Hashi, Ishii, and Goto to become the never openweight six-man tag team champions. El Desperado defeated Robbie Eagles to win the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, and Kenta defeated Tanahashi to win the IWGP United States Championship. So a bunch of new champions in New Japan. So right now, I'm going to throw it over to Charlie G, and he is here, as always, with your Indie Cut.
Thank you, Tom, and hey to wrestling friends. I'm Charlie G with your Indie Cut. We begin with Saturday, October 30th. Tokyo Pro, let's take Bravely. Naoka Kuda defeated Moko Miyamoto. Hyper Masao defeated, and Mihiro Kiru defeated Ushu Endo and Suzumi. Nodoka Tenma teamed with Shoka Nakajima to defeat Pam Harajuku and Yuki Kamifuku. Raku, Riku, Tatsumi, and Yuki Arai defeated Bruno Neko, Marika Kobashi, and Yuki Aino. And in the main event, it was Maki Ito and Miyu Yamashita. They took on Miyu Watanabe and Oh, my fault. It was Maki Ito, Mio Yamashita, and Mio Watanabe against Mizuki, Yuka Sakazaki, and Hikari Noa. They went to a 20-minute draw. The funny thing about this match was Mio Yamashita didn't have her full gear, so she was in this pink shorts, and they're all picked on her at the end of the show. So check that out if you can. Head to Stardom, Goddesses of Stardom Tag League Day 2. In Tag League action, we had Azumi and Momo Watanabe, now with 3 points, defeating Lady C and Waka Tsukiyama. Saya Kamatani and Utami Hayashita, now with 2 points, defeating Hanan and Rina. Ruaka and Starlight Kid with 3 points, defeating Mina Sirikawa and Tam Nakano. Himeka and Natsupoi with 2 points, defeated Fuki Gendeth and Saki Kashima, who also have 2 points. And the main event was Mayu Iwatani and Rin Katakura. They have now 2 points, defeating Maika and Suri, who had 2 points. To now, Demolition Stage 2021 in Fukuoka for the GHC Heavyweight title. Champion Kazuhiko Nakajima defeated Masato Tanaka in 35 minutes, so that was a pretty good match there. Head back to the States and Southern Illinois Championship Wrestling from Belleville, Illinois. Jerry Lawler, back in action, defeated Kowalski. The Rock and Roll Express of Ricky Morton and Robin Gibson defeated Mahler McDarby and Sean Santel. And in a no DQ match, it was Attila Khan defeating Haku. So, throwback wrestling at its best. And we head over the state to Clive, Iowa for Revolver. Wrestling Revolver Tales from the Ring 4. This is on Fight TV, so check that out if you can. For the PWR Remix title, Ace Austin defeated Alex Zane to become the champion. Matt Wainwright defeated Anthony Green. Jessica Havoc defeated Billy Starks and Charlie Evans. In a 7-way scramble match, Caleb Connolly defeated Crash Jackson, J.J. Garrett, Madman Fulton, Ninja Mac, Sam Beal, and Warhorse. Yes, all these are really good matches, so check that out. In a 4 Corners of Pain death match, Alex Clone defeated Jay Christ. For the vacant PWR tag titles, the American Wolves of Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards defeated Logan James and Tyler Matrix to become the champions. So yes, the American Wolves are tag team champions in a promotion. Danhausen defeated Everett Connors. And for the vacant Revolver title 4-way ladder match, it was Rick Swan defeating Jake Manning, JT Dunn, and Trey Miguel, as well as the Cable holding up the title belt, which it took like 5 minutes for him to try and take down the title that would not let go of however it was tied up. And in the main event, it was an Iowa street fight with John Moxley defeating Jimmy Jacobs. Yes, it was a bloody mess. Not as bloody as you probably would think, but still nonetheless. So that was the last we'll see of Moxley for a while. Hope he gets well soon with all that's going on in his life. We support you. This is also a show where Moxley was just a team with Sami Callihan, who didn't make an appearance with his cast, and they're going to face the Wolves. But things changed, and it turned out to be a great show nonetheless. Back here in Berwyn, Illinois, for the Day 2 of the Jim Lionel Memorial Tournament from AEW Pro. Let's go with, we had an AEW Tag Title match with Dante Leon taking the place of Stallion Rogers, with Jake Something, who are champions, defeating Mance Warner and Matthew Justice. That was a really good match between those four. In the semifinals, Matt Fitchett defeated Shaft, and Josh Alexander defeated Myron Reed. For the AEW Heritage title in a 4-way match, champion Hakeem Zane defeated Ace Perry, Ariz, and Frontman Jay. Also a pretty awesome match there. So in the final match, it was Matt Fitchett actually defeating Josh Alexander in about 21 minutes. Awesome match, back and forth, you name it, they had it. Really good match, so check that out if you can. Go down to Mexico and AAA action. Lady Shani, Mr. C's Jr., and Sexy Star, the new Sexy Star, defeated Flammer, La Hydra, and Mamba. Then we had the Dinamitas of El Cucutero, Forstero, and Sansan, defeating Aramis, Mr. Iguana, and Octagon Jr. Real cool match between those six. And then we had Carter Bravo Jr., Mocha Cauda Jr., and Tito Santana, defeating Rey Scorpion, Taurus, and Viano III Jr. So check that out if you can. On to Sunday, October 31st, Stardom, Goddess of Stardom Tag League Day 3. Oh, excuse me. We had Saya Kamatani and Utami Hayashita, now with 4 points, defeating Maya Sakurai and Yunaki Sayaka. Maika and Siri, now with 4 points, defeating Azumi and Momo Watanabe, who have 3. And it was Himeka and Natsupoi with 4 points, defeating Hazuki and Kaguma, who have 2. Real short, fun show right there with Stardom, so check that out. Back here in the States, to Without a Cause, Year 3, Wax Streets Back show. Nice name. Richard Halliday defeated Chase James. Nick Wayne defeated P.D. Williams. Sonico defeated Jordan Oliver. Alan Angels defeated Titus Alexander. And for the WAC title and the WAC Stallions title, the WAC champion Keita Murray defeated the regular WAC champion Chris Bay to become new champion. So I wonder what Chris Bay will be doing next. We head back to Berwyn, Illinois, and Shimmer 119. Allison Kay defeated Laney Luck. For the Shimmer tag titles, champions Ashley Vox and Delmi Exo defeated Kayla Cassie and Sierra. Marty Bell defeated Alice Crowley. Divine defeated Brittany Blake. Zoe Sky defeated Heather Monroe with Ray Lynn in her corner. Interesting duo there. Charlie Evans defeated Hala Dead. That had to be really good. Nicole Savoy defeated Janai Kai. For the Heart of Shimmer title, Nevaeh defeated champion Hyan to become the champion. Mercedes Martinez defeated Jody Threat. That had to be awesome. And for the Shimmer title, champion Kimberly defeated Willow Nightingale. Now they did record Shimmer 120. I'll say those results next week unless I see otherwise, since there was no date real given for that outcome. We head down to Knoxville, Tennessee, and Next Generation Wrestling, Nightmare in Note City. You can say that again, alright? So we had Warhausen, the team of Danhausen and Warhorse, defeating Facade and Jason Kincaid. Sometime during this match, Danhausen broke his fibia and tibia, so he'll be out of action for who knows when, but that's only the start of the problems in this show, which I was not streamed, so I did not see any of this action or any highlights. For the Eastern States title, champion Shug D defeated No Way. Billy Starks defeated Allie Ketch and Danny Moe. Crazy Steve defeated Levi Everett. For the Freelance Underground Heavyweight title in a four-way match, champion Calvin Tankman defeated Alex Taylor, Caden Sade, and Shane Andrews. Then Dirty Dango took on Mance Warner, and in this match, Mance Warner broke, I believe, his tibia and fibia as well, and he looked really messed up in his hospital picture with Warhorse and Danhausen in the background. So all the best to them. Hope they heal up sooner rather than later. And then for the main event, for the main title, Matt Cross defeated champion Rick Swan, Trey Lamar, and Alex Zane. Oh, that had to be awesome main event. Those four? Holy cow. Lucha Underground to the extreme right there, right? We go to Tuesday, November 2nd. A New Texas Pro Wrestling and IWTV. ASF defeated Gringo Loco. For the new Texas Pro and Ring of Honor Women's title, our favorite champion Roxy defeated Rochelle Rose. Masha Slamovich defeated Delilah Doom. And in a new Texas Pro Lone Star title Pure Rules match, champion Max Heights defeated Cole Radrick. To Wednesday, November 3rd, in Stardom, Kawasaki Super Wars, Super Women's War show. I'm going to be spoiling the results for myself because I have yet to see the show, but I plan to. For the future Stardom title, champion Ruaka defeated Lady C. Saw that coming, right? In a tag league match, Fukigen Death and Shaki Kasima, who have 4 points now, defeated Hanan and Rina, who still have 0. Mina Surakawa defeated Maika and Saya Kamitani. That's a bit of an upset, I think, in my book right there. Himeka and Natsupoi took on Kaguma and Mayu Iwatani to a 15-minute draw. And then for the high-speed title, champion Starlight Kid took on Momo Watanabe to a double countout. Yeah, okay. For the SWA Undisputed Women's title, champion Siri defeated Azumi. I heard that was really good. For the Wonder of Stardom title, champion Tam Nakano defeated Unagi Sayaka. They're stalemates, so that had to be interesting but fun to watch. And then for the World of Stardom title, champion Utami Hayashita defeated Hazuki in about 25 minutes. So that had to really be a good match there as well. To Thursday, November 4th, Beyond Uncharted Territory, Season 3, Episode 5 on IWTV. Rhett Titus defeated Gerard Joel in a bit of a botched match all over the place. Megan Bain defeated Ashley Vox in the Discovery Gauntlet tag team gauntlet matches. Jalen Brandon and Siobhan Jordan defeated BRG and Mac Daniels. Chris Dickinson and Willow Nightingale defeated Yokai of Janai Kai and Yoya. Real good match there between these four. I was surprised how well they Janai and Yoya stood toe to toe with these two. Matt Mikowski defeated Tracy Williams via a chokehold, pretty much. A little surprising there. And then for the Pan-African World Dysphoria Wrestling World title match, champion Trish Adora defeated Jordan Blade in a real good match there. To Friday, November 5th, we head to Ice Ribbon 1152 for the Triangle Ribbon title match. Rina Singaki defeated Maku Ono and champion Totoro Sadasuki to become the champion. Back here in the States for Laredo Pro Wrestling Guild from Georgia. Let's go with that. The Good Brothers of Doc Gallows and Carol Anderson with Mac Davis defeated Bryce Cannon, Cornelius Pepperbottom, and Zach Mosley. And in the main event, well, not so in the main event, Brian Myers and Matt Cardona defeated Alexander Koloff and Neil Koloff. So a couple Impact stars in that show. To Hybrid Wrestling Friday Night Fights from Chester, Pennsylvania. It's on YouTube, so check this out. For the Mission Pro World title, champion Hala Dead defeated Tasha Steeles. Atticus Kogar defeated Marcus Mathers. Allie Katch defeated Trish Adora. Otis Kogar defeated Gangrel. And Mercedes Martinez defeated Masa Slamovich. That'd be real cool. Down to Mexico and the Crash 10th anniversary show. Bear with me if I don't say these names correctly. For the Crash Junior title 6-way match. There's a title change. Why is it? I'll skip that one because there's a title change, but not according to this. Black Destiny and Rey Horus defeated Demonic Flamita and Torito Negro. For the Crash Cruiserweight title, Dino Minico defeated champion Oraculo and Black Danger. I hope I said that correctly. For the Crash Tag Team title 4-way match, Bestia 666 and Mecha Wolf defeated champions Trauma 1 and Trauma 2, Black Taurus and Rey Scorpion, as well as Funny Bone and Super Beast to become the champion. For the Crash Heavyweight title, Vikingo defeated champion Bandito, Willie Mack, and Dragon Lee. Wow, this has to be out there somewhere on YouTube, I'm sure. So check out the Crash 10th anniversary show. This for that match alone. And then Pagano defeated Masada in what I'm sure was a bloody match. To Saturday, late last night, on November 6th, Tokyo Pro was back in action for night 6, I believe. Shoka Nakajima defeated Hiro Nanako. Rika Tatsumi defeated Mihiru Kiru and Udoka Tenma. Hyper Marcel and Naoka Kuda defeated Raku and Yuku Kamifuku. Maki Ito and Miya Yamashita, with her full gear, defeated Marika Kobashi and Moko Miyamoto. Mizuki and Yuko Sakazaki defeated Tam Hirajuku and Yuki Aino. And Miyu Watanabe and Suzumi defeated Rushu Endo and Hikari Noah. A fun show. I was able to watch it all. So check that out if you can. Oh, excuse me. That's a wrap for me. Till next time with more show results and recaps. Don't forget to keep enjoying wrestling in the world how you like it, wherever you can, however you can. Thank you for watching or listening. Hope you enjoyed the cut. Keep safe, take care, and be kind to everyone. Back to you, Tom.
All right, thank you, Charlie. So let's keep rolling right along into the next segment of the show, and that is my top 5. Right, so first up on the top 5 this week, Mickie James. Talked about her in the match of the week. She was victorious and retained the Impact Knockouts Championship. Number 2 on the top 5, Big E got the victory over Kevin Owens, and like I said, had that little bit of a flash of some heel tendencies. Like I said, I'm curious to see where that's going to go. Next, we got CM Punk and Eddie Kingston. Both that segment from Rampage was just outstanding from those two guys. I know it wasn't a match, but I'm still putting them in the top 5 because, hey, it's my rankings, my rules. And last but not least on the top 5, Christian Cage, like I said, making his return after a little bit of a stint in Impact as their world champion. Came back and took out Adam Cole with a concerto during that brawl between Jurassic Express and the Super Click. So, yeah, top 5 this week. Mickie James, Big E, CM Punk, Eddie Kingston, and Christian Cage. So, next up on the show, I get to play a little bit of armchair promoter here, and that's called the Fantasy Booker. All right, so this is a match that could potentially happen. I mean, we've seen a lot of collaboration between companies outside of WWE the last year or so. So I'm hoping that is something that will continue because I want to see Kenta versus CM Punk. I mean, you know, they both use the go to sleep. We've seen little bit of back and forth on social media. Not a lot. I wouldn't call it a rivalry or a beef or anything like that, but there has been jabs thrown back and forth in the past. I'm not talking about recently, but and just in the ring in general, I mean, this would be a mind-blowing match between these two guys. And like I said, with the collaboration that's been going on between AEW and Impact and New Japan, and it's possible. So I'm hoping. I mean, we've seen the IWGP US title defended a number of times on AEW programming. I think it's a good way for New Japan to showcase their United States title actually in the United States. So we can hope. It's a possibility. Whether it actually happens or not, who knows? But yeah, Kenta versus CM Punk. If you tell me you don't want to see that match, I question your I question your fandom, put it that way. So let's get into the last segment of the show here, where I kind of go off the rails a little bit, and this week is not going to be any exception. That is the weekly hot take. All right, so I talked about all the releases from WWE this week, and as always, they're citing budget cuts, and I'm sorry, WWE's making more money than they ever have. They just did another Saudi show that they get like $10 million a pop for, or some ridiculous number like that, and they're talking about budget cuts. Like, I'm sorry, that's the lamest reason they could possibly give. I mean, they don't have to give a reason at all, honestly, to terminate somebody's contract, because, you know, they're independent contractors and WWE can terminate the contract whenever they want to. But it's ridiculous. It's insulting. First and foremost, it's insulting to the people that are getting released, people that are losing their jobs. Oh, budget cuts. We're making more money than we ever have ever, but we need to trim the budget. Fuck you. That's my response to that if I'm on the receiving end of that call. But that's just me. But, you know, but then the same day they turn around and hire a new CFO at a salary of $850,000 a year with a $1 million signing bonus and $5 million worth of stock. Now, granted, there are conditions attached to all of that. You can find it all, you know, online. It's public information because WWE is a public company. They have to disclose all of this. But, yeah, we're going to fire 18 people, but then we're going to hire one whose salary exceeds probably all 18 of those combined. But we have to trim our budget. I'm sorry, it's ridiculous, and it's a flat-out lie. It's a flat-out lie from the WWE. Although I have to say I did love the jab made at John Laurinaitis by the Acclaimed during AEW when they told Bryan Danielson that they end careers faster than his father-in-law, who happens to be John Laurinaitis. So, yeah, I thought that was a fun little jab. It definitely popped the crowd and the announcers. Taz loved it, but yeah, it's just it's lame, it's ridiculous, and it's just flat out untrue. If they're saying budget cuts, you know, just say we can't use you. We have no room for you. We have no plans for you, and we don't want to pay you for doing nothing. That's at least honest. And I can somewhat respect that, although I still think it's stupid that they sign this many people anyway. And now the word going around the rumor mill is NXT is going to be releasing wrestlers every 6 months if they don't improve, whatever that means. I mean, what improvement are you looking for? Are you talking in-ring? Are you talking getting over with the fans? Are you talking on the microphone? I mean, I guess it's subjective. It depends on the individual wrestler as far as what they need to improve or what WWE thinks they need to improve. But, you know, even that, as a reason for letting someone go is more believable and respectable than budget cuts. I mean, I don't get it. I think it's a load of crap, and it's just it is so ridiculous that this is happening. It seems like every couple of months with WWE there's these mass releases, and the thing is, it's not hurting them at all as far as having enough people to put on television, because they put the same 15 people on television every week anyway. So I don't know. It kind of, with WWE, it's kind of stuff you've come to expect now, unfortunately. So I don't know. I guess we'll see where it goes from here. But I can definitely tell you that a lot of these people that have been released are going to find homes very quickly once their no competes are up. I mean, Killer Cross. I'm not calling him Carrion anymore. He's freaking Killer Cross. He and Scarlett Bordeaux will definitely land somewhere together, because they just work too damn well. You know, I mean, obviously they're a real life couple, but I mean, on screen as characters, you know, wrestlers, they just work too damn well. They will land somewhere, whether it's AEW or back in Impact or whatever it might be. They're going to land somewhere. Same thing with Keith Lee and Mia Yim. Now, they've really never been on screen together, but obviously, again, they are a couple, so they may land in the same place. They may not. Mia Yim had a very good career in Impact before she moved on to the WWE. She could end up back there. She'd definitely be a great addition to the AEW women's roster. Who knows? Blake Christian, like I said, definitely going to be back on the independent scene. Can't wait to see him again. So Ember Moon, another one, would be a great addition to any women's roster anywhere. So, you know, all of these people, same Taya Valkyrie, another huge name. Oni Lorcan, that might be the most shocking one to me, believe it or not. You know, even though there were bigger names that were released, Oni Lorcan, I think, is the biggest surprise to me because he's been with NXT forever, almost since day one. So that one is probably the one that shocked me the most. But yeah, they're all going to land somewhere because 95% of them are too good not to. So that pretty much wraps the show up for this week. But one announcement I do want to make. I know you guys saw a couple weeks ago, I had Jeremy Fine, the promoter for Second Wrestling, on the show talking about their debut event Creation coming up on December 12th at 1 p.m. here in Chicago. We are going to be giving away 2 tickets to Second Wrestling Creation coming up again on December the 12th at 1 p.m. We're going to be giving those away this week, and I'm going to be giving those away on Twitter. So what you need to do, I will be putting the post up tomorrow, probably afternoon, evening, somewhere in there. But it will be the flyer for Second Wrestling Creation. And what you need to do is like and retweet that post. You also need to follow Catch, Hook, and Shoot and Second Wrestling. And for everyone that does that, I will be entered into the giveaway, and I will basically we will select a winner at random from everybody who likes, retweets, and follows CHS and Second Wrestling. So, like I said, keep an eye out for that sometime tomorrow afternoon, evening, and yeah, the winner will be drawn. I'm gonna leave the post up probably. You know what? I'll give it a week. Give it 1 week. See how many likes and follows and retweets and all that kind of stuff we get, and from the people that do that, a winner will be chosen at random, and you will receive 2 free tickets to Second Wrestling Creation on December 12th, 1 p.m. So keep an eye out for that. Good luck to everybody that enters. So with that, I'm going to wrap things up for this week. Again, I want to thank everybody for watching, listening, and subscribing on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Make sure to check out the website, catchhookshoot.com, for all the podcasts and the CHS shop and everything else about the show there. Follow on social media at catchhookshoot. ProWrestlingTees.com/catchhookshoot for anything you won't find on the CHS shop on the website. You can find all that and a whole lot more on our link tree, which is linktree/catchhookshoot, or scan the QR code right there in the corner of your screen. And if you ever want to shoot me an email, it's catchhookshoot@gmail.com. So with that, I'm going to wrap things up for this week. Hope everyone has had an awesome week. Hope everyone has an awesome upcoming week. Enjoy all the great wrestling coming up, especially Full Gear next Saturday. That is going to be a ridiculously good show. Can't wait to see that one. So enjoy everything coming up, and I will talk to you guys soon.